Hey, how you doing, guys? Time for another video. Before I get to the topic, I'm going to talk about an upcoming video, which recently I just had something come in today, which is the Kensington Slim Blade trackball, kind of a mouse, which we're going to primarily use for things like Final Cut Pro and DaVinci Resolve. We're going to be doing some testing in that. So stay tuned for that. We should have it out this week sometime. I'm a little bit behind in some things. But this topic I found kind of interesting for a different reason. And this has to do with investors of Apple stocks are urging Apple to do more to protect children from smartphone addiction. And now, in my generation, before it was television, computer games, and rock music, there was just some of the things. In fact, I don't know if you remember the Tipper Gore putting warning labels on that type of music and so on. And for this current generation, it's more for social media and mobile devices. And I think anytime you give your children access to the internet by their own computer or mobile devices, you really got to be the one to really watch out for this, because you shouldn't, tech companies shouldn't really be watching your children for you. And I see this happen all the time. They give their children their iPads, iPhones to play games, which is fine, but you have to realize you're the one that giving them access to this thing, so you need to be the one to actually watch them. Now, Apple does do some things for child protection, and I think it is warranted, especially with social media and the internet. And it's not just those things as well in the software, such as iOS for the iPad, but social networking as well. I mean, like Facebook, Twitter, and so on. But we shouldn't make tech companies be babysitters for our children. That's what parents are for. And now I think what we should do, though, is we should allow children to have early access to technology like this, because later in life it's going to become very important. Of course, it's up to the parent when you're going to expose children to things like this. I'm sorry, but I've been kind of sick lately, so fortunately I didn't bring any tissues. But I think we should have allow children for early access, simply because later in life it's going to be becoming more important, because it's not just used for recreation, but for jobs, for job training. Because right now, almost every job out there almost always asks, do you have knowledge of computing, how to use a computer, Microsoft Office, Word, and so on. And I see that very prevalent in jobs. And I even seen firsthand where lack of this knowledge will actually